Yo, SojuTalk Nation! On this week's episode, we'll be covering Fuego releases from Dreamcatcher, WekiMeki, and BTS. We'll also be cooking up some spicy news coverage, including big changes to Korean web portals, new largest shareholder for Cube Entertainment, and YG bamboozles everyone again? So prepare your body, map your soul, because the Shield Bros are back in town. Hit me with that intro! Hey, what's up everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot at K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spicy episode 75, and we are recording on Monday, February 24th, 2020. I'm Doug, and joining me today we got Warren.
Hey, what's up everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
And as a quick reminder, drop us an email at SojuTalkPodcast@gmail.com, sub to the SojuTalk YouTube channel, check us out on Spotify, iTunes, or your favorite podcast platform, join the SojuTalk Discord, and be a part of the SojuTalk Nation. Links down below. I know I change that every once in a while. I almost flubbed it up, but I think we held in there tight. But
we're good.
we got 3 sections of announcements this week, right?
Wow.
The first one is the IZ*ONE signed album giveaway winner. So Jack Lee, you have won the signed Minju Hard Eyes album here on YouTube. You have 1 week to contact us to claim your prize. Please send us your name and shipping info via Discord, Instagram, or to SojuTalkPodcast@gmail.com. You have until Monday, March 2nd to claim your prize. Congratulations.
Yay.
Congrats, buddy.
I know we were giving out a second album on Discord. It has been announced on the Discord already. So if you haven't been active on our Discord in the last 2 days, go check that one out. Okay, so next. In celebration of the release
Look at that.
of BTS's Map of the Soul 7, I am happy to announce the 7 album giveaway. We are not giving away 7 albums, but we will be giving away 2 copies of BTS's Map of the Soul 7 on YouTube. So this is the YouTube version. So what you are watching, if you are on YouTube, if you're listening to the audio version, head to the YouTube version of episode 75. To enter, just comment on the video. The giveaway is open to all BTS and K-pop fans around the world, and winners will be picked on Monday evening, March 2nd, and announced during episode 76. Lastly, to all of our new listeners, welcome to the SojuTalk Nation. We hope you stick around. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Yes.
Boom. All right, third and final set of announcements. Number 1, big shout out to our new Fuego Patreon, Tugu. Shout out to him.
Yay.
Yo,
I think it's a him. I'm not sure, or if it's a her, it's a her. So shout out to them. Let's do that. And then next, shout out to Tenyoka. So Tenyoka invited Warren and I. Well, she invited Anita too, but Anita couldn't come to Toy Fair in New York City. It was bananas, and we will be talking about that at the end of the podcast.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
Lastly, we got through all this. The final announcement is the BTS section for this week is crazy. We actually recorded that before we're recording this, and stay tuned for that. It's gonna be nuts, and we have a special surprise guest on it as well. But in terms of the big new releases this week, we got 3. So on February 18th, Tuesday, we had Dreamcatcher with Scream. On February 20th, Thursday, we had WekiMeki with Dazzle. And then on February 21st, Friday, we had BTS when they released Map of the Soul 7. But let's start at the top with Dreamcatcher's Scream. So they are from Dreamcatcher Company, which used to be called Happy Face. They debuted in 2017 as Dreamcatcher, and their last 3 songs were Deja Vu, Piri Piri, and What, and they have 0 music show wins so far. I'm going to start us off with a take.
Oh.
Dreamcatcher is my 4th favorite girl group right now.
Ooh.
Right under IZ*ONE, Twice, and Luna is Dreamcatcher.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
So, no Cosmic Girls, no Fromis, just
No, it's Dreamcatcher, sir.
Nice.
Now there is something about Dreamcatcher that like, ooh, oh Lord, like there is something about Dreamcatcher that makes me want to say, oh Lord, you know. I find it hard to believe that anyone like would not get hype during the chorus drop of this song. It is, so good. You know, the choreo, the vibes of this song, the visuals are on point. And I know in the past I've talked about Dreamcatcher and how they might need to change their style, right?
Right.
I 100% retract that statement, as you do. This song is everything I want Dreamcatcher to do. They should continue down this line, just doing little variants on the rock and roll theme that they have going on, the dark concept rock and roll. It is strong, it is powerful, it is Dreamcatcher. Boom.
Wow.
All right, so now next, I want to give a shout out to the mask backup dancer during this music video. Now, I watched this music video with my sister when we were on vacation. She was like, who the hell is the girl in the mask, right? So, if y'all don't know, Handong, who is one of the members, she's in China line for Dreamcatcher. She's on Idol Producer, the second season in China right now. So, she's not currently promoting with Dreamcatcher. I thought it was a really cool idea to have like a placeholder backup dancer. Cause have y'all ever seen that before? I've never seen that before.
Kind of, I think, but I haven't seen it recently for sure.
Definitely not recently.
I've seen a member in a girl group with a big rabbit mask.
Okay, but they're not placeholdering for someone else.
No, that's true, but
But I'll move on to like the overall song. So for me, the standouts in this song were everyone. Everyone stood out in this song. You know, my bias Jiu with the purple hair and the visuals. Oh lord. And then Gahyun and Dami with the rapping. I was impressed with the rapping skill. This comeback for sure. I thought that was one of the strongest points. And then vocal line Shihyun, Yuhyun, and Sua. It's Sua. I'm still learning the names. Like, I'm gonna be honest here.
your fourth favorite girl group.
Come on, man. Give me some time. I've been talking about Dreamcatcher the last couple of weeks. I don't care what y'all think. This song is certified spicy, although I can't officially call it that. But for me, this is 100% certified spicy. Y'all better go listen to Scream. But those are my takes. Warren, what'd you think of this?
This is not certified spicy, sir.
Come on.
Why?
Okay, I don't particularly dislike the song. I'll say that. But
Okay.
at the same time, I don't particularly like it. This does feel kind of off from the Dreamcatcher kind of musical flavor that I'm more accustomed to. This is a lot less rock and roll. It's a lot more like EDM, you know, like the whole
Yeah.
bang, da, 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 you know, like I'm not even gonna try to do it. It's just a lot of like, you know, big bass music going on, and that's fine. It's cool. The problem is it's a little forgetful. It's a little, you know, it kind of blends in with the rest of the mix. Personally, there isn't something that stands out as like, oh, we are Dreamcatcher and we are the only people doing this. That's not for me. It was kind of like, you know, at the same time, the song was nice. It was fun. It was great. It was a banger. It was nice to listen to. The music video, I mean, you know, Dreamcatcher company doesn't have that much funds, I understand, but the music video was a little iffy at certain points, you know, shaky cameras when they clearly meant to have smooth cameras, and it's fine. In general, it was fun. It was enjoyable. It's a nice change up, a little distracting here and there, but you know, I don't particularly like the rap verses. You know, there's like small things here and there where I'm like, you know, I wouldn't say that this is my favorite song. You know, like it's fun. I wouldn't come back to it in a month.
What? Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, Anita, what did you feel of Dreamcatcher's Scream?
I like you mentioned, I like that they're tweaking things here and there so that their sound is not like exactly the same as before. I can definitely see where the parts where they're trying to change it a little bit, but still retain the overall flavor, like concept that they have going. Yeah. And I think that was nice because I feel like it does make it have more variety in their music without really changing who they are as a group. So I appreciated that. And I also feel like for me, the chorus is what makes this song a little bit more stand out because of that like repeating like guitar strumming riff. I thought that was really cool. And it is, I feel like that kind of brings it back to that rock core they have as a group, even with the EDM or pop elements that they included for this song in particular. For me, there's a particular part where the vocals, like there's background vocals and they're like very chanty, like almost like I don't know, kind of like that. No, I don't know what they're repeating, but it reminded me of like a very intense openings of like if you follow the anime Attack on Titan.
Oh my goodness!
Yes,
it does actually.
You're stealing my weeb character over here. Like,
I mean, it kind of does.
It reminded me so much of that.
Wait, I actually thought of Attack on Titan when listening to the song too.
Exactly,
like,
right?
Not gonna lie.
It's
Not
like
gonna lie.
intense, kind of dark. Like you're gonna
I
go
see that
fight
though, yeah.
something. But I don't know. I thought it was really interesting. So it's definitely taking their dark rock theme, but more dancey. I feel like it had more of a beat, like a dance beat to it. I would say. And I also loved the scenes for the music video where they're wearing like black suits and there's like a red background and they're showing more like the choreography. And I feel like that shot in itself, I feel like, oh, this is something that I could see another girl group doing. Like it seems very like somebody else could have done it as well. So I feel like they're blending a lot of elements where it seems like this is very unique. This is very not something that we see with every girl group, and then adding some stuff that it's more trendy, more on trend with girl groups as well. So I don't know. I feel like they're possibly still working around with it, like what exactly they want to make the balance be, like more rock, less rock. I feel like this was pretty okay. Like I don't know if it's my favorite song from them, but it's definitely pretty good, and I like what they're trying out. So I'm interested to see where they go from here.
I do recognize that they were like leaning more towards like a more like easily approachable taste with this one.
Yes.
I guess I would have preferred like a little less in that direction.
You would have rather them double down on the rock.
No. Like I like the fact that they are going in more of a general population direction. At the same time, I think they went a little too far in that direction.
I mean, have you seen some of their stuff as Minx, which was their original name? It was Bubblegum back in the day for Dreamcatcher.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but go check that out. It's a totally different vibe than this. You know, I think we have to commend them though for not abiding to the girl group meta, at least.
Of course, yeah.
They are 100% not the meta, but it's a similar thing with like Card last week where there's such a specific group that you either really like it or you probably don't, and because a lot of their theming is very similar, it's hard to build popularity that way, right? Because it's not gonna be like, did you just hear this new Dreamcatcher song? Wow, you know what I mean? It's gonna be, man, Dreamcatcher released another good song, right? That's the overall impression.
Right.
They were very close to winning a music show last time. I think this was that controversy where Everglow snuck it very far after they came out with a song, right? But overall, for me, great song. I guess it's not certified spicy, but I guess we gotta move on. But the next song we got, so this one released on February 20th, Thursday. It was WekiMeki's Dazzle. So they are from Fantagio. They debuted in 2017. The last three songs were Tiki Taka, Picky, and Crush. 0 music show wins so far.
What is their thing with titles? You know, Picky, Tiki Taka, Dazzle. You know, like.
I was gonna say the same thing at one point.
I know, right? Yeah.
You know, not my favorite song. I'll be straight up about that.
What did Doug ever say? He doesn't like a song. What a rare moment.
But the caveat is, I do think they're heading in the right direction now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
My biggest qualm with WekiMeki, every release they've done that we reviewed, is that it is so heavily Yujong and Doyeon focused. This is the least focused on those two songs they've ever released. I unless I'm not remembering correctly, it feels like this was that. I mean, and that was my overall main issue. So they did fix the thing I'm complaining about, right? That I did complain about. That being said, I had the same problem with this song as I did with Cherry Bullet's Hands Up, where I felt that it was a catchy song, right? I found the song to be very catchy, but at the same point, I didn't feel like it really built to anything. That's my comparison. I was reading a lot of the reactions to this music video on Reddit, as I do with almost every song we review. One of the main things that stuck out to me were a couple people mentioned that, number one, you could tell that the budget for this music video wasn't that high, right?
Yeah, well, I mean,
and they said because of that, and the sets were small, sometimes when the framing of the shots, they would cut out like 3 members on the sides for what is supposed to be like a group shot.
Right. Things like that happen.
It did happen. You know, overall, though, going back to my point about I feel like they're not really building towards something, I just wish there was like a breakdown or like a solid bridge somewhere to break up the pacing. So overall, I thought the song was okay. I thought it was catchy, but not my favorite. What did you think, Anita?
For me, I actually had a hard time focusing on the song itself because when I saw the music video, it felt like very static for some reason, and the camera work that happened was really interesting. I feel like at some point in the music video, they do a lot of like a zooming in and then a zooming out and like really fast, and I was not a fan of that. So I watched the music video and I was like, oh, I don't know why, but it felt like for some reason, I know there were shots where they showed the choreography and it was like supposed to be like a full body shot with all the members in the group, but it felt like, I don't know, something about the camera angle where it was just like facing on the front and not a lot of movement. It felt like the song felt static because of that, I felt. So then I listened to it by like without watching the MV, and I feel like, I guess maybe it did feel a little better, but I don't know. I like Doug mentioned, it does feel like the song itself was not building up to like a specific climax or like a very memorable part. Although I do feel like the was it Dazzle Dazzle, what was it? There's a tagline that goes on in the song. That part
I forgot, honestly.
I forgot as well.
I just remember the overall like the tune of the song, straight up.
Yeah. The part where there were like two of the members go like Dazzle or something. They repeat, and I feel like, okay, that pretty well. It's catchy enough, and I think the way that they, like the tone they use, almost reminds me of something that I could have heard from a Hyuna song. Like it felt like very Hyuna in the vibe. But I mean, the song itself was very different. So I don't know. It was very interesting to me. I don't know if I would like WekiMeki if they go into this direction in particular. Just because I feel like they tried out the very girl crush stuff, and I don't know. I almost felt like I would prefer that because it felt like more substantial in a way.
So you're saying with like the comeback 3 songs ago, Crush was definitely the girl crush one. That was the one with a lot of motorcycles and things.
Yep.
And then they had Picky Picky and Tika Taka, which are very similar songs.
Right.
If I remember correctly. The first one was like, I'm so picky, picky, picky. And then the other one was like Tiki Taka, a little more. That one. Those were the 2 songs. I remember them. Wow. And then this one was very similar to those ones overall. But
I mean, I feel like it was similar, but I also feel like the others did have. I don't know what it is in particular. Something about this song is not as memorable as those other 2.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. There's something about the song. At least those other 2 songs had like very, very catchy choruses, like extremely catchy choruses. This one, I just felt like it was missing that. But the thing is, with WekiMeki and Fantagio, which had a lot of lawsuits last year, a lot of people were suing them who internally, mostly the actors. At least they're giving them comebacks. Like Jellyfish over here, like Gugudan can't get a song.
That's true.
So I don't think we can complain that much. Now, is this song... Well, number one, the packed February sets them up to not win a music show or contend for one, right? With who else is out there right now. Because I think it's projected right now that IZ*ONE's going to win some next week, and then the following week BTS is going to win everything, right? That seems to be the projection. Right. It's a tough time. February is super packed. And do you agree with Nina that this was just like, it was aight, but it wasn't like anything crazy?
Yeah, I feel like it was... I mean... It was stable enough where I wouldn't say like, oh, they definitely need to rethink where this is going. But I felt like it was stable, but not in a way where I find it super memorable.
Yeah. Okay. But Warren, what do you think of this song? You have an interesting expression going on right now.
It's first of all, you guys took everything I was gonna say. That's the problem.
Oh, I feel the same.
Oh man, very, very agree. Here's what I'll say. It felt like a strategic comeback.
It did.
It almost felt like they were trying to. They know that the comeback isn't gonna be hugely successful, and it felt like they were going to just keep this as an update, like a stepping stone for their next comeback, and for that purpose, they were trying to like minimize the financial investment, minimize the things that go into this, comeback. And that would be like, with my tinfoil hat on, that would be my guess. That being said, yeah, it's a little underwhelming. Yeah, it's a little forgettable. Yeah, it's a little, kind of lacks flow of the song. There's not a really, explosive chorus, which is what bubblegum genre kind of relies on. It relies on explosive energy. It relies on, catchiness, and it didn't have any of that. So it almost felt like the song that comes after the title track in a mini album.
Okay, I kind of see what you're saying there.
Right. The only example that comes to my mind is Twice-tagram, which is Twice's first full-length album. And after Likey, there's a bunch of bubblegum tracks that aren't high energy. And it kind of gave me those vibes. That being said, song itself is very enjoyable. It's a fun song.
Yeah, I'm not skipping it if it comes on the playlist. It's just like I ain't getting hype. That's my overall.
Here's what I'll say. If it's on the playlist and it's already on my playlist of girl group songs, and if it comes on the playlist, I won't skip it. But I'm not gonna search on Spotify for this song. That
is a great way to describe. Like, here's the thing. There's this song. They're clearly trying to make a catchy earworm song, right? Similar to Tiki Taka and Picky Picky. I just feel like, although the song is catchy, it's not memorable. That's the main point we're trying to make here with this.
I don't even think it's that catchy to begin with.
Okay, I disagree with that. I think Anita does too.
What are you gonna do? We always disagree. I thought we agreed for the first time today.
Also, you're frozen in this really weird position on my screen. Oh, you're sort of back now. Okay, you good. But I think that wraps up this one. But okay, we're at the point now, guys. We're at the big important part of this episode.
Oh boy.
Okay, before we begin this section, a gigantic disclaimer for everyone at home. Number one, admittedly, the three of us in the crew are not the biggest BTS stans in the world. I think that's fairly obvious for anyone who's listened to our podcast in the past. I can only speak for myself, but personally, I have little knowledge of the BTS lore and their songs outside of the A tracks and the more famous B tracks. I'm the A track assassin here.
Right.
I am working on this though, and I have never listened to more BTS in my life over the past few weeks. So that being said, the three of us, Miwar and Anita, will talk about the albums and the song more on a surface musical level, but that is why we brought some help this week.
Yes, you did.
So joining us this week, we got No Bias Nuna in the house. What's up, No Bias Nuna?
Woo!
Hello.
So, Nuna, give us a quick introduction for the people at home as to who you are.
Well, as you all know by now, I go by No Bias Nuna. And I've been in ARMY since October 2016 when Wings came out. So it's been, it's like almost 4 years now.
That's a big
It's been a privilege. Yeah. No, it's been a privilege to walk alongside BTS and really watch them and their fandom grow in these last few years. So, and I'm really happy to be here too. So.
And for those of you who don't know, No Bias Nuna was recently appointed as one of the mods on our Discord server. So congratulations to her. So that's something too. But all right, so let's get into this. First thing, I'm going to do the basic stuff. So they released Map of the Soul 7. BTS released Map of the Soul 7 on February 21st, which was a Friday. So they're from Big Hit. They debuted in 2013. Their last three songs were Idol, Boy With Love, and Fake Love. 74 music show wins so far. This album broke almost every single K-pop record in existence. So obviously, Real Time, All Kill in Korea. Number one on iTunes albums charts in over 90 countries. The songs on the album took places 1 to 20, and there's only 20 songs on the US iTunes song chart.
Wow.
And all 20 of the songs placed within the top 24 of the worldwide iTunes song chart.
Worldwide.
This is the second biggest debut all time worldwide, only behind Adele's 25.
My goodness.
It reportedly sold over 4 million albums pre-sale to merchants, which is already the best selling ever on Hanteo. And in terms of normal sales, which is sales to individuals, it sold 2.6 million copies in the first 24 and is now over 3 million album sales. It took Map of the Soul 7 only 3 hours to pass the total sales of Persona, which was previously the best-selling album of all time on Hanteo.
So,
okay.
Wow. There's no doubt that this is the best-selling album.
No,
Period.
literally zero doubt. This is smashed every single record. And, I was sitting here thinking Aizwan, we doing some good things over here. And then BTS comes along and sells 10 times the amount of albums. I mean, what do I expect, though? All right, so first thing we're going to do is give some overall impressions of the album. I'm going to let Nuna go first with this one.
Ooh. Of the entire album?
Of the entire album. Like a TLDR, what did you feel about this album?
So I've mentioned this before, but it feels like, in Japan, they give you a kaiseki dinner. You sit there and they're like, course one is a sakura flower blossom soup. And you're like, oh, course two is Kobe beef. You're like, oh. So it feels like that. I feel so satisfied right now. It's like I just got up at an onsen. I'm relaxed. I'm ready. I just had a great meal. I'm sipping on some sake right now, just taking it all in. Just like enjoying the moon, I feel so fulfilled. I'm just happy.
Okay.
So it's like a luxury, like $500,000 meal from
$500,000 meal. Are you eating like giraffe?
The other metaphor is that a lot of people have expectations of this album, right? But
yes.
I'm the sort that like I'm here, I'm ready. I will take what's given to me one by one, and it's in doing that, with every song that I've seen, I'm just like, oh, this is good. I enjoy it. Oh, thank you. The next one. Oh, the next one.
Oh. I'm gonna be honest here. I've listened to this album more than I've listened to the IZ*ONE album as of right now.
Wow!
Oh, look at you, buddy.
I'm straight up honest here. I'm gonna drop something here.
Chef has been serving good food. What's up?
10 out of 10 album. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Okay.
10 out of 10. I'll tell you why though. It is very rare for me, number one, to listen to whole albums, right? I just don't do that.
Right.
With this album though, Map of the Soul 7, even the songs that I am not completely in love with are way above average, which is rare for, I think, any K-pop album I've listened to. There's always one or two songs on like every single album I listen to where I'm just like, maybe I won't listen to that again, right? But with this album right here, I listen and enjoy every single song on here. Some of them a little bit more than the other ones, but I'm having a good time listening to all of this. Now, I like a couple things they did here. Number one, everyone in the group gets their own like solo song, right? That you rarely see that. Although AB6 did it 2 weeks ago, or last week, but that's not like a big thing for them. Their purpose is to do that, right?
It's still a rare thing for like solos to have solos and put that into an album, right? Yeah.
That being said, I did hear some discussions online or see some discussions about people saying that this album had too much autotune, right? As someone who generally hates autotune, I didn't really notice that. I thought it was fine. So overall for me, Fuego album, I am going to that BTS concert in a couple months.
Yeah.
The hype levels are through the roof, fully on board the hype train. Okay.
What is that?
Okay, for context, I listen to you guys on Spotify as I work. And I always thought the sound effects were like added in.
Oh
No.
Real time.
No, we never added sound effects. We don't put that much effort into it.
I'm like a full-time Foley artist over here making the sound effects.
Physical implement, like one of those old-timey radio shows where you have like the shoes and then you pretend to walk it across like the table.
We're doing it live, and that's just what's happening.
We're natural people.
All right, let's now go to Anita. Anita, what are your overall impressions of Map of the Soul 7?
Okay, so I think for me, my relationship with BTS has been kind of interesting because I kind of followed them pretty closely since 2013, and then I kind of fell off the track with them around 2016-15, I would say.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit,
like
right?
picked up the baton.
Yeah. It's really interesting. So I feel like before they got super huge on the global stage, I had not been keeping track with them that much. But I still knew like their A tracks and some of their B-sides. But I feel like this was definitely the album that I've listened to the most as well from them recently. And I don't know, I feel like at first I was a little afraid. I was like, oh, maybe it won't be the same as when I really liked them in the beginning. But honestly, it was really easy to go through it. I feel like it flowed really well. Like even though it's 20 tracks, right? It's a pretty long album. It flowed really, really fast for some reason. Like I just played it and it just kept going. But I don't know, I feel like for me, the tone of the album is so how should I say it? Like how Nuda described it, like kind of like just fulfillment. Like it's nothing like super intense. Like trying to shock you like with any new sound or anything. It just sounds very much like them, like very honest, very confident, like doing their own thing. So I think it really reflects like their current state right now, I would say, as a group, like very stable, like mature at the peak of their career.
Oh yeah, no, because if you think of it, like we don't know what the peak is, but I will not make a prediction as to when their peak is, but let's just say keep going, Nuna.
Oh no, like when I got into the very first time, the one at the MAMAs, I remember everyone was like, "Oh my god, we made it this far!"
Oh yeah,
it's the peak. It's the peak.
Yeah. There is no peak at all anymore.
Every few months, it's like everyone goes, "Oh my god, guys!" And,
yeah, but that being said, it's like the expectations for this album is probably the heaviest expectations any album has ever faced in K-pop. I don't think that's too crazy to say that. And for me, they totally fulfilled them. But now I'm dragging this out because we have to get to one Spice Lord in here, Warren. And I heard he does have some good things to say though. So Warren, go ahead.
Do you want me to deliver like my full take here, or just like a TLDR take here?
You could deliver your full take. I think
Alright.
it's fine.
full take. I can take it.
Okay. BTS fourth studio album, full-length album. Map of Soul 7. A 3-part album. I would say. First. Let's begin there. I really agree with Anita. Actually, I'm gonna have 3 good things to say, and 3 wish list items.
Okay.
Wish list, not like terrible points. Wish list
Remember my New Year's resolution, guys?
to be the sugar man.
Anyway, going back to what the first point is that I kind of agree with Anita. It's ambitious to have a 20-track album. It's incredibly easy to have an album that long and have it fall apart because the album is long. It's an hour-long album. But they structured it in a very like a followable way where there's a clear like 3-part structure. Obviously they took parts of their previous album, and then there's an interlude, and then there's like what was supposed to be, I believe, Shadow, and then I believe the last part is being called Ego. No. Yeah.
Yes,
Shadow
you're correct. You're correct.
Yeah. Look at me. All right.
Be confident. Be confident.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it provides really good pacing. Track ordering is really well done. Not something I see in K-pop albums often. So I'm actually very impressed. I'm more of an album listener in general. I listen to full albums, rather than listening to playlists or singles in general. I listen, and it's well done. There are a couple things I don't agree with. Like for example, I feel like On feels better at the end of the album rather than at the middle, but in general it's great. It's great. I like it. Another thing I liked was, especially in the 3rd part, the production and the vocal performance it's really impressive. I know we just said that every waking moment is a peak for them, and kind of riding off of that, this is the best I've seen the pop performance and the pop production come from BTS, and it's great because my impression of BTS has always been that they are really strong in terms of emotional expression in the pop genre, and this is what they're doing here. Very emotional. It takes listeners on a journey that I wasn't ready for. I didn't shed any tears, but I might have if I wasn't at work. But it was great. The last point that I really liked was that I really, really do appreciate that this album is pretty much solely based on their life. The whole narrative, the whole message, emotion, it's all based on them. And it comes from their desire to express their emotions and thoughts, which to me, that's the most basic goal of art and music. I don't have much more to say here.
Okay, but before you get to the suggestions, let me read what the wish list. Let me read what they said at the global press conference about what they feel the album is. So this is a good point for that.
Good point, yeah.
So Jin described that Map of the Soul 7 is an album that looks back at the 7 years spent by 7 members as a team. In our previous album, Map of the Soul Persona, we spoke about the world, the joy of love, and our image. In this new album, we wanted to deal with different things, such as our experiences that brought us here and the candid emotions we feel in the moment. It reveals our deep inner selves that we had that we had wanted to hide, and at the same time, we are confessing our discovery that these are also our true selves. All right, now hit us with that wish list.
Well, first thing, I do respect that the theme came from them, but I wish it was a little tighter. The theme of the album is introspection, their story, their lives, and that's great. At the same time, I feel like if the entire theme that ties these songs together was a little tighter in terms of what they discuss and the message, I feel like they would have had a more convincing and a stronger narrative and a stronger narrative and a voice that really tells me what their attitude is, and kind of gives me a simpler idea of how I should be characterizing BTS musically. So that's one thing. The introspection theme is a little bit too loose for my tastes. The second part comes from the fact that this album, especially the second part, leans a little heavier on the hip hop side rather than a pop side. Now, for those of you guys who might be tuning in for the first time, I have always been more of a hip hop head than a pop head. I've been listening to hip hop for about 12 years now. That being said, I don't hold idol rappers on the same level of expectations as normal rappers. But I do feel like the rap performance feels a little overdone. Accents are kind of strongly emphasized, and they focus a lot on flashy flow. And the rhyming structure, as a result of that, is kind of disruptive and not as stable. And that's what kind of turned me off and distracted me from songs like Ugh or Oog, or I don't know. It's Oog or Ugh. I can't. Which one? You know what I'm talking. You know what?
We know. Keep going. Confidence.
All right.
Confidence.
Oh, Jesus.
Just trust myself.
Just trust myself. But yeah, BTS rap line, of course they are better than the average idol rappers out there. But if they are going to lean a little heavier on the hip hop side, I would prefer if they would, make some safer decisions in terms of rap performance.
So you're saying that you felt that it was a little bit overdone.
It was a little bit overdone. Yeah, that's, I guess, the TLDR of that.
Okay.
One more thing is that this is actually very much truly a wish list in terms of what I want from them next. Because I feel like they're at this point where they can really push boundaries without, much to lose. I think they need their thesis album. Now, Beatles. Of course, I know some BTS fans don't like the comparison between Beatles and BTS. But what I think made Beatles really special was Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Band Club. That was a musical celebration. It was pretty much what put BTS at top of the peak.
Beatles. Atop the peak.
Jesus. Beatles at the top of the peak back in their days. And while this album is very much a really well-made album, I do think they could have made some more experimental decisions.
Okay.
It kind of comes off in songs like On. I do think that leans a little experimental. But I kind of want to see them do a little more of that. They're at a situation, they're at a position where they can really push the boundaries of the genre, and I kind of look forward to them doing that. So thank you. That is all I have for today. But I like the album, so.
Honestly, this was definitely a wish list, not a poo list.
Of course.
I like the album. I like the album.
It's a good album. Yeah. I'm just surprised that you didn't like say like this part is horrendous or anything. And I felt you were very constructive, but in a fair way. I thought I like that.
Yeah, this is what happens. This is what happens when I take notes rather than ramble on like they normally.
But, all right, Nuna, do you have any quick rebuttals before we move on to his?
I wouldn't say it's rebuttal. I mean,
okay.
I mean, the thing is being in the fandom for so long and seeing everyone's reactions to new songs. Every single comeback, there's always people like this song really well or the other song really well, and they are all valid comments. For instance, and even as a fan for so long myself, I don't necessarily like one song as much as other people, for instance, right? Or at least sometimes like, and I mean I say this, but as soon as like the songs I feel like are come out, you see me just like bopping my head. It's like like, they're like, are you sure you don't really like this? I'm like, listen,
things change.
But no, for me also, like, I feel like it for each song, no matter if you like it or not, I think a good way to approach it is to see it as like a different song for every mood or a different time of day, or a different time of life,
Yeah, you just got to map your soul throughout the day. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
And I mean, also, just because someone doesn't like one song as much as you do doesn't mean it's A, a horrible song, or B, that they're wrong. And it also doesn't mean that you're wrong. Like if you think, oh my God, this song, man, it's just the bee's knees. I can play it all day. I can play it for 4 hours. You'll just see me jamming in my car. I'm gonna blast it through the city. That's fine. And someone else will be like, I think that's okay, but also this other song. It's good. And I think it's good to remember that.
Yeah, with BTS's release here, there are very few groups that can be like, judge us on this album, right? If we think about traditional K-pop, it's judge us on our A-track, please, right? Because if we think about the vast majority of K-pop groups, a lot of people don't have time to be listening through whole mini albums, full albums, whatever it is. But BTS makes the confident decision of, we're just going to drop the whole album right now, right? Now, this is a good transition point because the title song is On, right?
Right.
And the true music video for this song is going to come out on Friday the 28th, which is 2 days from release day of this episode. But we did get the On Kinetic Manifesto film Come Prima. It's a bunch of words here. For me, if you had not told me that this was like I'm going to call it like a choreography performance video before the video, right? If you had told me this was the music video, I would have 100% believed you. That's my overall take on this. Now, this video here got 43.24 million views in the first 24. I believe this is the record after YouTube changed the way they calculate the first 24-hour views now, because they got rid of like the pay to win viewership, that kind of thing.
Apparently, so also, you can only for each account only 50 views count per day or something like that.
Oh,
I did not know that. That's a cool one.
What?
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. But let's keep going. So for me, the strongest part of this video was the breakdown / dance thing towards the end. That completely blew my mind. Now, for me, On was not my favorite song on this album by any stretch of the imagination. Now, within our own Discord, I asked people what are their top 3 favorite songs on the album, and On did come in last place. Now, there is definitely a bias to put the title track in last place. Similarly to last year, last week, everyone was saying Fiesta was the worst track on the album, on the Bloom Eyes album. I personally feel there's a little bit of bias to put it there. But overall, the dancing, the performance aspect of this Kinetic Manifesto film Come Prima was off the charts.
Yes.
And I feel like you need to listen to On. Personally, I think you need to watch the video while listening to the song to get the full experience of this song. Because if you do not, I feel that the song comes off a little bit anthem-y, which it clearly is. There's drums in the background. I don't remember if there was flags, but I feel like this is a music video that could have flags in it,
There was a lot of brass too.
Yeah. But for me, I think that the video they released just really enhanced the experience of this song. But does any Warren, give me your feelings on this Kinetic Manifesto film Come Prima for On.
I didn't watch the video yet.
Oh, Warren.
Warren. Okay, Warren. I am
Someone
disappointed.
didn't do his homework.
So for those of you listening on the audio version, Warren has his hands up, which is like the traditional you're getting punished at home if you're a Korean kid thing.
Look, we said we're reviewing the album. I didn't know.
Okay, no, that's fine though. I know that you knew that the video was coming out on Friday, but I guess you didn't know that this side video dropped. So I'm going to skip you. Anita, what did you feel about the On Kinetic Manifesto Come Prima video?
I loved it. Okay, first of all, shout out to the Lab Dance Crew. Shout out to Blue Devils. amazing performers. When I saw Sienna from the lab, I freaked out a little because I follow her a lot on her like dance competitions with the lab. Like superior dancers, guys. Like they went all out for this music video. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I feel like for me, the dance break adds something to the song that I feel like, I don't know. I think it's the bass. There's like a bass boosted sound in the dance break that I kind of wish like, oh, I kind of like this. I wish it was throughout the whole thing. But I see it. I feel like it makes more of an emphasis on that break since it doesn't continue with the whole thing. But I don't know. Visually, it's really great. I love the lighting. I love that they did a lot of like marching positions, like formations. I think it's quite simple. It's not over the top really, but it's very clean. So I appreciate that. I think it was great.
Okay, and Nuno, what did you think of this video?
So I'll go into the song itself later, but I will note that I'm the opposite. I actually think On is one of my favorite songs. Like, I don't have a top three, but I love it. I've had it on repeat, and I do this thing where I play it on Spotify, and then I finish it, and then go back to YouTube to watch it again, and then I go back to Spotify, and then go back to YouTube, and then go back to Spotify, because it hits differently, you know, like
it does for
music video when you see it. That's another dimension of it goes from 2D to 3D, right? Kind of like your senses are all highlighted. There's more of you engaged, just like instead of me just like typing away on my computer, staring at the document and just listening to it, right?
That's true.
Yeah, this video, it came out like what, 4 a.m. EST.
It did.
I set an alarm, and I'm terrible at waking up, so I woke up half an hour later, and I'm just like, oh. And I just grabbed my iPad. I'm like burritoed in my bed, and just like, okay, I guess it's here. YouTube happily is very helpful. So they're like, oh, hey, recommended. I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, I was watching, and I was like, what the fork? What the fork? Oh, accidents. Oh no, another accident. Oh no, an accident. I don't think you guys get it. Basically, when Jimin does the whenever he loses like his the shoulder part and he shows off his shoulder, he's called an accident. And so the joke is like, oh my gosh, so many accidents. Oh no, alas.
You know, like,
oh no.
So back in the day,
I didn't want to see shoulders.
When Blood, Sweat, and Tears came out, you know the part where he takes the jacket off and does the lean with the shoulder?
Yes.
I used to imitate that all the time back in the day.
Iconic.
Yeah, like I used to do it for Warda and Anita, and they would entertain me, but I'm pretty sure they hated it. But that used to be a thing I did all the time.
No,
but,
that's where it started. You have a good eye.
Yeah,
it was his one of his reaction videos. They were like, "Oh my gosh!" It was like it was an accident. I was like, "Was it real?" And we're like, "Oh no, it's definitely not." But he's embraced it, which is great. Yeah, no, this video is amazing. It's clean. It's gorgeous.
So clean.
Sienna. I saw it. I was like, "It's yes." Everyone just looked phenomenal. The marching band was great. I think the fact that for me it was very not today vibes in terms of the music video because of the fact, you know, that was the very first video where all 7 of them were like straight up, and it was like, what wings, you know, what layering, we're all good dancers, and they just go for it, right? So it's very similar in that way. It's just, I looked at it and I was trying to go to their Today show in the morning, and I was like, I think I can't. I just need to sleep this off. And I just like
too much energy in the morning.
Yeah, it's too. I was like, this is too much. It's too much. I can't. I need to sleep.
All right, but I think Warren will definitely watch. Well, I'm gonna force him to watch this after
I'll watch it.
We're recording this segment first so that we don't keep Nuno for like a gajillion hours like we normally take. But we are gonna force Warren to watch it after we do the regular recording. So for sure, we'll make that happen.
You know what I think would be interesting is if you filmed your reaction.
Oh,
maybe.
That might be a thing. But I'm gonna now pivot. So as I mentioned earlier, we asked the Discord, SojuTalk Discord, their top 3 favorite songs from the album. So I didn't ask them to rank them, so this is not weighted as to if you pick first place, it got more points. This is just a straight tally of like if it was in someone's top 3, it got a point, right? So the top 3 songs in order were UG or OOG, whatever you're calling it. We Are Bulletproof and Louder Than Bombs. And as I said earlier, On came in last place. For me personally, okay, I tried to limit it to 3 songs, but it ended up being like 5.5.
Cheater.
All right. So the songs I picked were Filter, Louder Than Bombs, UG, Bulletproof, Ego, and I also really enjoyed Friends because of V and Jimin's friendship. I thought that was really kawaii. But my favorite song on this entire album is Filter.
Really?
By far.
Ooh.
By far.
I see.
I think I've listened to Filter a good 40 times since this album came out.
Wow.
Filter's my least favorite song. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry.
Wait, what are your favorites, Warren?
Yeah.
Oh, my favorites. I would have to pick On featuring Sia.
Featuring Sia.
Okay, there you
Featuring
go.
Oh, interesting.
That at the end of the album, I think it's great. That Louder Than Bombs is wonderful. Picking the third one is really difficult because I really like the entire like segment between 0 O'Clock to Inner Child to Friends to Moon. That whole like 4-track flow.
Oh
is
yeah,
great.
okay.
But I would have to pick 0 O'Clock if I had to.
Okay. No, that's a fair choice.
Mm.
I can't believe you think Filter's the worst track. I am so angry at you.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? All right.
So we're gonna skip Nuna because she does not have a favorite song. I tried to get it out of her like multiple times. But
It's hard.
No, you asked, and I was like,
you're like, nope. Like, but Anita,
silent mental breakdown.
Anita, what are your favorite songs from this album?
Okay, for me, right off the bat, intro Persona was a throwback to School Love Affair. So kind of their older, closer to their debut. So I like that they included that because I feel like it really brings you back. Like, oh, this is the journey, right?
Yeah.
But after that, I really enjoyed Respect, which is Suga and RM, the duo, and UG or UG. That was pretty good. But I think the one that I've listened to the most, like re-listened since I went through the whole album, is probably My Time, which is Jungkook's solo.
Okay. Wow.
I thought it was really nice.
That was a nice song too.
The
lyrics though.
The common theme I'm seeing, even in the top 3 from the Discord, was that every single song was chosen a lot. Like the difference between the most chosen song and the last chosen song was not a lot. If this was a regular album, there would have been a clear like pattern here. It was very close, which means that everyone is enjoying a whole bunch of different songs, which is the whole purpose of releasing an album, right? Like,
yes.
All right, do we want to talk about any of these songs in particular? We already heard Warren's opinions on UG. Personally, I think it's fantastic. That's another one of the ones I'm listening to all the time. I think we talked about On pretty well. Why don't you like Filter, sir?
I will say I like UG better than Filter.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
What? Okay. But is there a reason? Like, do you not like the Latin theme thing going on? Like,
yeah, I wasn't a fan of the Latin theme.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. It just didn't stick with me. No hard feelings against Jimin. Wonderful man.
Can I give a shout out though? I want to give out a shout out to Spotify. Well, I want to give 2 shouts. The first one's to Spotify because when we get to the solo tracks, they have the video playing, so I know who it is. Because I'm not at the point. I'm not at the point where I can recognize voices to faces. That is honestly where I am with BTS. I can recognize almost all of their songs, but I am not really great at doing that. Right. So it really helps out when I get to like Filter and I'm like, oh, there's my boy Jimin. You know what I mean? Like it really helps out. Number 2, I want to give a shout out to some of the SojuTalk members on the Discord who gave us their reviews for all of these songs, which really did help form my opinion on some of them because I did not like understand the intricacies and what a lot of these songs were saying. So shout out to them. You know who you are. I told you I'd keep it anonymous, but shout out to them. All right, Nuna, what songs do you want to talk about? Oh God. It's one of those good.
If you want me to just do like a 10-second impression of each song, I can just go down the entire thing. Go boom.
I mean
boom,
that
boom.
works.
Go for it. Yeah.
We've never done that, but I like that. I like that.
If you want me to clarify anything else, then I can really get into the nitty-gritty. There's a lot.
No, I like this true album review. Go.
So, I mean, if you have a timer handy or something, if you want to make it that, or if you just want to cut me off when you're sick of me.
No, you good, because like we say we're gonna try to keep the podcast short. It never is. So you could just go. You could
We
just
gave
go.
up on that. Yeah. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Whew. Okay. Well, okay. I guess I'll start from the beginning, but I'll start from Shadow because that's the newer song, or the first of the newer songs. And I have thoughts about like how they put that together as a pastiche, but we can talk about that later. So here it goes. So Shadow, this is the fuller version of the trailer, right? What really struck me is how it felt really clean. It felt really mixed well. You know, it references, as Anita mentioned, and I still don't know how to say this right, but I think it's "Oh, are you late too?" So
yes.
going backwards, because Persona was like a reference as well, right? So
Yes.
going back with each album, you're like, oh, we're going back to the beginning.
Yes.
And I love the fact, you know, that part where it goes, and then you just like feel like, oh my god, we're dropping into hell. But it feels great because you're dropping, and the very next song is Black Swan. So we just really dropped into there, and then we just like kind of emerged from the depths of the water, and it's Black Swan, and you're like, oh, the artistic despair. Oh, and at the very end of the song, they were like, that one line was like, nothing can devour me. I shout out with ferocity, and you're like, we're rising again. Yeah. So now we're at Filter, and listen, I can't listen to this song much because every time I do, I start sweating a bit. The first thought in my head is, oh my god, if you go to the concert, which Doug and I are, we're going to see Jimin perform this. We're going to see Jimin perform this. Oh, it's over for all of us. Oh my.
It's over for me too. It's over for me.
I'm afraid. Like I can feel like him grinning evilly. He's like, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. And I'm like, oh god. Afterwards, it goes into My Time, right? And Anita, I know you said you loved it very much, right? It's beautiful, and though I will say, I'm like, who taught this kid slang? Who taught him slang? You know, like, oh my god, I've never felt so old in my life. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. I'm old. It's fine. But I really liked it also because actually, this even goes back to an earlier point. I think Doug said that he was like, "Oh, you don't really see an album with single songs a lot." And I will say that really, the one I got into was all like solo songs for each member, which I was like, "Oh, beautiful, chef kiss." Oh, but yes, thank you. Oh, is that how you do it? I never know how you do a chef kiss. Yes, thank you. But yeah, for Jungkook, he his first single was Begin, right? So I always think back to that. You know, there he was like, "Oh, you make me begin. I cry because of you, making me begin." And now instead, it's like flipped. He's like, he's talking about himself. He's like, "Well, now I began. I'm here, but at what cost? You know, like I'm different from my peers." Oh, it's right. So the next one, Louder Than Bombs. Let me know if I'm wrong, by the way. Louder Than Bombs is interesting because I know a lot of people on our server are like, "Oh, I don't really like the song."
It's a good song.
Yeah, I can see why they wouldn't like that, but I also feel like you have to be in that mindset. And it's also interesting because like if you're just like lying there and listening, you're like, ooh, this mood. So
this song is an entire mood, Louder Than Bombs.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I think you can really push for that argument. And I'm looking at someone on this server in particular. Don't know who they are. No, I love them. It's fine. So it's also great because there's a lyric in there where it's just like, you know, we're going to shout out, and then on is that shout out. It comes out and they're like, boom, right? The anthem, but they were like, hey yo, you know, bring the pain on, like boom. That's it. That feels like the rise for me. Like Filter in My Time notwithstanding, it was like, right? I like the song a lot, guys. I like the song a lot.
So let's keep going. in the sake of time, let's pass over On because I think we talked about On a lot.
Oh wait,
But-
one last thing about On. I think
Okay.
I've realized why I really like it, and it's because I got into BTS when in Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Mhm.
And y'all, this is our new Blood, Sweat, and Tears. This is our new Blood, and Sweat, and Tears. It's combined with Not Today, like dance and idol energy. It's like separated.
Ooh.
Anyhow, that's On. Ugh. Ugh. I've replayed this song a lot after On. I will say I've replayed this so much. Though I will say I don't have Warren's background in terms of rap or hip hop. I just man, like I listen to this and I'm just smash this window.
Yeah, right?
And
This is a workout song, bro. Come on, get pumped up.
It's a motivational song. I listen to it when I go to work and I'm like, here we go, let's get this bread, let's go.
Yes.
And like, or if I have a hard day, I'm like, oh, it's like I leave, I'm like, oh, this sucks. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do better tomorrow. It's that kind of song. And there's also a lot of wordplay in it, that I'm not qualified to talk about at all. But there are a few people online analyzing it slowly, so we'll see. It's a very rap line song. So yes, I think it's interesting that they transitioned to 0 O'clock right after that. Because Warren, was it you who said you thought it might have been that split? Like, because we were talking about how it might have been like because they did say that it was supposed to be 3 albums, right? It was supposed to be Persona, Shadow, Ego, but they put Shadow and Ego together.
Right. That's what it felt like, yeah. Because UG has this, like, it lets out all the anger. It exerts a lot of energy. And now that all this energy is out, now we're a little calm. And then we go into 0 O'clock is how I kind of felt about it.
I don't think it's a straight split in terms of the rest of the album. I think they shifted a few songs around.
I do agree with that too.
But I do think it's funny, like on Twitter, there's a lot of people are like, that one meme where it's a guy who's screaming and then suddenly it becomes like this like pastel thing around his face and he's like smiling.
I do know that meme.
Like
yes.
that's UG and like 0 O'clock. They're smiling in the end.
All right, Nuna.
Yeah.
In the interest of time.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh god. Okay. Inner Child is so cute. It feels like a rebirth, and I think
I feel you.
It's interesting. I'm gonna talk about this in one thing. Inner Child, Friend, Moon. Right.
Okay.
It feels like it begins with yourself, then it's with your friends, and then Moon, Army.
I never thought of that, but that 100%
that makes
complete sense.
Yeah. And then if we move on to Respect, it's beyond Army. It's a general like industry thing. What is respect? What is respecting each other mean? I don't want to skip over them.
Oh no, okay. Can we stop real quick to talk about that like conversation at the end of Respect? Now, one of our reviewers from the Discord found this to be like a little bit cringy. I thought it was fine. Like, I don't know. I thought the Saturi's coming out, which is Korean accent. I thought that was cool. I'm always down to listen to some banter in Saturi, but maybe that's just me.
I've heard better skits, but I've had a lot worse skits in albums. I'll say that.
That's fair. That's fair.
This is not that bad, guys. Come on.
So now we are Bulletproof the Eternal.
Yes. Oh. Listen, I didn't actually. Oh, some people on the server were like, "Oh, I cried." I didn't actually cry, which is unusual. Like, I cried during the first Avengers movie, so I cried really easily.
Avengers is an emotional movie. I'll give you that.
But no, this one is just really. It feels like a warm hug, and like the horizon around you melted away into gold. Like at the same time, I'm just like, because like I was like, look, every artist loves their fandom, right? Like,
for sure,
I mean,
right.
You guys like your Discord, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Every fandom and their artist has a relationship, but it's just. When you hear that reiterated and reaffirmed, it just really touches you. Like, you listen, these are people you will probably never actually know. You're passing by each other like parallel lines in life. But it's such a privilege and such an amazing thing to be able to walk next to each other as you go through life and to acknowledge each other once in a while. And it's just that feeling is just amazing.
You know, that's like the most beautiful thing ever said on our podcast. You know, the three of us are like basic ass people. You know, like
We have no emotions.
Doug is just like this song good. Anita's like, I like this. And Warren's like, eh. That's like the
Not all
base
the
level of
time.
our podcast.
Not all the time.
The Discord really, really stands WAD.
Wad. Oh God, that was a thing. It's Warren, Anita, Doug, Wad.
Ah.
We are Wad.
I kind of like it.
And then I've been called Dopa lately. Let's not go into that one. But
Punish me.
okay, okay. Let's get on to ego though, since we're continuing.
It's interesting, and again, going back to what Warren and I were talking about, we were like, oh, it feels like Ego should have been like a different album. It should have been the intro and the outro. It feels kind of weird to be the outro, but at the same time, I feel like members of BTS and like in Big Hit are like, she knows nothing. If they listen to this at all. But it feels like to me, if I were in their shoes, and of course I'm not. If I was, I'd be super rich, man. I'd be sharing my wealth with you guys.
That's what you're worried about?
Listen, you gotta hustle in life.
Okay.
But the thing is, I think this was a really good call, because I think what they realized with the Love Yourself albums was that they were stretched a little thin. Like, I love the songs on there, but I feel like it's even looser than this series.
Oh, geez,
and
okay.
I feel like the fact that they combined Shadow and Ego was them realizing, well, we could do 2 albums. Or we could devote our resources and time into making one heckin' solid album.
Yeah.
Heckin' solid.
And they were like, yeah, let's do that. And they were like, okay, but where do you want to go? And the entire process has been your persona, and then you acknowledge your shadow, and you want to end up at your ego. So what better way to put that as your outro and to end it on a high note, and like really just to give that last rev to everyone else who's listening to. It's like, hey, it's ego.
You know, for me, you know, I feel like,
Makes sense.
although I wasn't physically at a concert, audibly I felt like I was at a concert, right? And for me, it
Yeah,
made
good
sense that
set,
we
yeah.
are bulletproof is like what you end the show on, right? You end, right? And you know, there's gonna
Encore.
be an encore. Ego felt like the encore for me. I know it's J-Hope song, right? It's the one man song, but at the same time, it felt like the encore song to me, like the final celebration before the album.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I had a complete opposite of that reaction.
Oh.
Okay. What?
Right? No, because like We Are Bulletproof felt like the ending. I agree with that.
Okay.
And then Ego, the outro felt like, and then they went back to their happily lives and then lived happily ever after. Just like
Really?
Really?
It's like, cause like it has the like hip hop vibe. It has a constant like
Uh-huh.
like a good vibes, you know, like chilling.
Really? Ego felt like the confetti song for me. Like
It felt like I'm like, you know, walking in the streets, but like kind of dancing, you know, like
Bopping.
all right, well that's fair.
bopping, you know, like. Sorry.
So would it be more like a you woke up from the dream and you're back to real life song versus
yeah. It's like when like you have heroes in a story and they have this big adventure, and then at the end of the story, you know, happy ending, they go back to their lives. in
Okay,
their
that's
little
a cool way to think about
Except
it.
now,
I don't know if I
they're
agree with you though.
I don't agree with you either, Douglas. Okay.
All right, chill, fam.
Chill.
But do we think that the version featuring Sia is going to be the music video?
I hope so. I like it a lot better.
That'd be interesting.
That was something I was thinking, because why else would they have that there? That was my whole point.
It's so interesting because Warren, was it you who say you liked On for Sia?
Yes, I like On. I like it a lot.
On
You like-
Reddit,
you-
it's the complete opposite.
Sorry, on what? It's complete opposite.
Reddit. I'm on the hey. Oh well.
Yeah,
I'm
like-
on Reddit a lot.
I say in
I
here.
read a lot of comments, and the community I'm in, they don't really like. So, I wouldn't say they don't like it. They don't feel like it adds much to the song. Like they can take it or leave it.
Well, I mean, I disagree.
Wait, do you prefer regular On or On featuring Sia? You're like the featuring, right?
I like the way Sia's voice compliments BTS in the album, in the song, not the album. But yeah, I like the version with Sia. I mean the mix isn't perfect, but I mean still, I think it's a great song. I think it's like the epitome of their like artistic ventures in a way. It's not a genre that's like frequently done in K-pop either. So
Right.
you know,
I honestly, for me, I'm like almost sure that the version featuring Sia is going to be the true music video.
That being said, it is very different from typical K-pop songs, even more so than like Idol. So like, I'm not surprised at all that people don't like this.
Okay, lastly, before we say goodbye to No Bias Noon and continue the regularly scheduled podcast, how does this shortly fit into the lore of BTS? And can you explain it to people like us who have literally base knowledge of what's going on?
Oh, the lore. Oh, Lord.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Pun factory over here.
Okay, so the lore really is their Bangtan universe, right? And it's, the core of it is Hwayeonyeonghwa, which is like HYOAH, like the most beautiful moment of life, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's based on that, and the storyline there is like depressing as heck. Heckin' depressing. There's a lot of time travel involved, just going back again and again, just as a trigger warning of some pretty like mature things, like, you know, there's being like people, there's burning, people diving off buildings.
Dang.
Yeah, it's pretty graphic when you read. There's actually like a webtoon about it now. But yeah, so it was the initial like Hwayeonyeonghwa, like the music videos, and there's a webtoon series. There's a whole series of notes about it. There were a bunch of short movies with the members from ITZY.
Okay, I did not know this.
Which is why I'm like, yeah, there they are.
Wow.
And I think there's going to be a professional K-drama this year or next year. Can't remember
Really?
what day. Yeah.
Ooh.
They've already. It's not BTS who's doing it. They've cast people to act like BTS. I don't know. We'll
That's
find
a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
out. Tough act. Okay, sorry. But yeah. So I think anything that's definitive to the lore will have now. It has a BU insignia on it because I think Big Hit was like, oh my god, you guys are stupid. Let me tell you which one is there, because there's so many people who are like, oh my god, and the fact that he blinked at this X minute means that connects. Yeah, no, it gets you. It's a rabbit hole.
Okay.
So I will say, I think it's just an additional storyline. You don't have to know it at all to enjoy the album. Listening to the albums, listening to the songs is such a intensely personal experience, right? But when you leave that music, you will leave with your own impressions, and when you integrate it into your life, you will put your own meaning to it. Like Spring Day, for instance, the Queen, she rose again in the charts. But you know, it can either be a song of deep nostalgia, deep sadness, or just happiness. You know, just like whatever you assign to it. I've listened to it in trains. I've listened to it in the snow. I've listened to it when I'm sad or when I'm just like next to the water. You know, just whatever you want to assign to that meaning, you can. You should not feel obligated to keep up with the lore.
Okay.
That's a nice way to go about it.
No, that's a great way to put it, because like, even though, so an example is, I'm a big fan of Luna, right? There's the whole Lunaverse thing. I got no clue what's going on. Let's be straight up here. Nor do I care to know, right? Because I'm here for the music and the lulz and the girls, right?
Look, at least you get the option to choose between following the lore or not. You know, you get to make a choice.
No, but what I'm that. You got no lore, right?
I got
Punch.
no lore, buddy. Right. I just bouncy over here. Like, all right, sorry, go on.
No, but
not yet. No.
Oh, Rocket Punch verse, here it comes.
But to somewhat wrap up this conversation, we're at about an hour, which is more than we thought. But honestly, this is about how I thought it would end up, right? Okay. To overall wrap this conversation, I think that this album is great because people like us, Warren and I, who are not the biggest BTS fans, find enjoyment in this album through a particular number of songs, right? It is tough to get me in particular to listen to an entire album, right? I have listened to this album about 10 times, right?
That's it.
Even if we were not doing the podcast, this is, from like culturally as a K-pop fan, this is a very significant moment, this album dropping.
Yes.
Right? Not only just because of the records, but what this album stands for, the globalization of K-pop, the Hallyu wave reaching maybe its peak. We don't know, right? This album right here shows off a whole bunch of sides of BTS, right? It's like, this is what K-pop can be. They hit many different notes throughout the songs. And as Nuna says, you don't have to know the lore to find enjoyment. And honestly, I think they overall did a 10 out of 10 fantastic job. Lived up to the hype. How often can you say that, right? Most things in life, I keep expectations low, right? So that I don't get disappointed terribly. This album, my expectations were sky high, and I was 100% satisfied. Boom. I don't know where to go from there, but
I will just add on one thing, because I know Army, and I know the people who are listening. There was a Grammy article recently where I think the title was something like, "Oh, BTS is their own genre." And you can see you can feel the like you can feel like
You're cutting out a bit, but yes.
What are we feeling, Nuna? You cut out a bit.
You can feel that polarizing energy right now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
But I think what all sides can take away is something that Yoongi said in there was, like, and I'm quoting because I can't pull it up as fast, but it's something like, we wish that all Korean artists will be appreciated, and that all good artists will be appreciated. And I think that's the core of it,
Yeah, you just gotta love yourself. But but so I'm gonna wrap this up. The biggest shout out in the world to Nobody's Nuna for agreeing to do this.
Thank you for joining us today.
having me.
Like the SojuTalk Crew, we were working behind the scenes. Our channel was called the Shadow Realm this time, where we asked her to do this, and she really, honestly, did not have to. We are so appreciative for her for stopping by. Maybe if BTS in the future releases some other things, we can bring her back. But thank you, Nobody's Nuna, from the bottom of our icy dead hearts for agreeing to do this.
No, thank you.
I just feel like having you here helped us out so much, because I don't think we could have done justice to this conversation if it was just the three of us.
Yes.
But
there's a lot more where that came from. So if any Army listening wants to, hang out on that server,
Thank you for the shout out.
Because I'm just one voice in a huge army, right? And there's so many different shades to this. I just hope they'll be able to come and talk to you guys and find out more about you guys and listen to you guys. So
yeah, and on our server, you could discuss BTS, but maybe you can expand your palette a little if you're just a BTS only fan, which is the great thing about K-pop. There's so much of it, and there's so much to listen to. But now back to our regularly scheduled program. Anita, hit us with them show winners.
All right, so G-Friend's Crossroad won the show on Tuesday, show champion on Wednesday, and M Countdown on Thursday. And then for Music Bank on Friday, Chico's Any Song won, and also for Show Music Core on Saturday, Chico won again. So G-Friend up to 7 wins with Crossroads, Any Song up to 10 wins.
Wow.
So good for them. And for Inkigayo on Sunday, North, the group, they released the song in November, late night, and it won its first win on Inkigayo.
That's really strange, because it was released back in November. But other things, G-Friend, the buddies are out in force, 7 wins against. You got to think that they're trying to win these on the same time as Zico's out, right? So that's tough. Zico at 10 wins is crazy. The main thing, show champion's back. So now all 6 shows are back.
Yes.
It's finally back.
I read no press releases as to why they just randomly came back now, but they all back now. So we get 6 music shows a week. Hopefully IZ*ONE can win some next week. But
Rocket Punch didn't win anything.
We would normally do hot takes with Harold right now, but
Harold is sick right now, right?
Harold is sick, and the other reason is because so we pre-recorded the BTS segment, and as you could probably tell, it was very long. So in the interest of time, we are going to be skipping Harold this week. He can meditate in his hate for another week and come back with an even spicier take. So
is he meditating in his hate? Is he like a Sith Lord?
Or he can stew in his hate.
Yeah.
for another week.
Okay.
But now we'll get to the news and events from last week. So the first one is big changes to Korean web portals. So Naver has decided that they will temporarily remove comments and related keyword searches from their entertainment news sections beginning in March for the April 15th, 2020 national legislative elections. The main purpose for these changes is to prevent cyberbullying, defamation, and invasion of privacy towards celebrities. These actions do come in the wake of the tragic deaths of Sully and Guhara. Kakao and Daum will also follow suit and remove their real-time search functions within March as well.
Okay. I mean, I don't really. I think real-time search function, removing that is not really the best step in the right direction, but I do commend Naver for temporarily removing comments and.
Yeah, so what we mean by the real-time keyword searches, let's just say that the Lakers and the Clippers are playing a basketball game, and then there's like a massive fist fight, right? So when you Google Lakers or Clippers, the thing that comes up is fist fight, right? Something like that, or fight. So that's what we mean by the real-time search words, like the things that are happening right at the moment.
Right. It's like the trending section of Twitter.
Yeah. I'm happy that they are making changes, right?
Yeah.
They really worded a lot of these articles, though, that these are just temporary for the elections, not just permanent changes.
I mean, look, things aren't going to change overnight, all right?
No.
Yeah.
No, I do think this will be a good stepping stone and a good proof of concept that this is the right direction as we see positive effects from it.
So, Warren, as a Korean who's been on some of these sites before, which do you agree with both the comments and the related keywords? I don't know what I was saying there. Related keyword removal. Or do you really feel that one of the two is more important?
Comments is something everyone has been saying that needs to be removed ASAP.
Okay.
Trust me, it is never a good like representation of how Korean people actually feel to begin with.
Yeah.
And it's always very easily manipulated. I think it's a mess. Everyone thinks it's a mess. It's a good thing that they are starting to move away from it. Related keyword searches, I actually have very mixed feelings about it because I am a person that like designs like software products and like digital products, and I deal with usability. I think related keywords, when in good control, provides a lot of benefit to the user.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's very dangerous. It is very dangerous. So I think in an ideal situation, everyone's a good person and they would not abuse the hell out of it. But clearly, we don't deserve it. So
yeah, because these related keyword searches oftentimes come up with like news that is not 100% verified. It's just what people are talking about. So it's tough because a lot of the times then people get the impression that what they saw in the related keywords is what is actually going on. And that's, I think, the main problem with them.
Yeah, we always end up with stuff like, oh, someone got plastic surgery, someone got their eyes done. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I'll say overall that although some people may have issues with these large like keyword search, Korean web portals as a whole, I'm happy to see that they are making some changes after the tragedies we've had over the last couple of years.
Yeah, this is a step in the right direction, and I'm happy that they're making changes, even though they may be temporary for now.
All right, next one. New largest shareholder for Cube Entertainment. On February 20th, it was reported that Cube Entertainment's largest shareholder has changed from IHQ to VTGMP. VTGMP is a cosmetic and media commerce company that is best known for its involvement with the making of the BTS perfume. The company bought about 24 million USD worth of shares from IHQ and will have around a 31% stake in the company. After news of the acquisition took place, Cube stock rose by about 11%. Cube is home to such groups as B2B, Pentagon, CLC, and G-Idol, to name some. I think a key thing to say here is that they have a new largest shareholder, right? So there is a new person in town who controls the most percentage of stock. But that does not mean that they can make changes in the company because they do not control 51%, right? I think that's something we have to be very clear about here. The thing that is happening, though, is by the stocks rising, it means that people are very positive about this outlook, I would say. Now, I'm not claiming to be an expert on stocks, but, generally with stocks, we think stocks rising, good thing, right?
Right.
And I think Cube is one of those companies that has so much potential right now because, number one, they're one of the largest companies that's not in an umbrella company situation, right? They're not under a Kakao, a CJ, at this point a big hit, a YG, right?
Right.
I always saw them as, although they are owned by many different people, I always consider them as like quote unquote like an independent company, like they doing them, right? And I see Pentagon, I think with their last release did really well, right? I think they're definitely trending in the right direction. CLC had on paper a really good year last year with the amount of comebacks they had. And I think G-Idol is one of the girl groups that's not already top tier. I don't know if that's a take, but I think they're one of the groups towards the top that show the most promise. So,
I mean, in general, if when a company like this gets involved, fresh money flowing in,
Right.
that means more money they can waste on music videos, more expensive outfits.
No, we want this
Invest.
stuff. Invest.
I meant it in a funny way. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That was not as funny as I thought it would be. But yes, I mean, it's excitement. It's more money going into the music videos, more money going to the outfits, more money
Yeah.
going into production. And we live in a capitalist economy. More money, usually is a good thing. Usually it works out. So,
Anu, do you have any feelings about this new shareholder? Largest
I mean,
shareholder?
to be honest, I feel like you mentioned before, I feel like Cube is not necessarily compared to a lot of the bigger companies.
Mhm.
But I feel like they definitely have the talent for it. So I'm always
sure.
happy to see that the company is doing well, because that means production will be better, hopefully, and like they can invest money on the groups and their trainees. So I don't know. Overall, I think it's a good sign. I hope that, like we mentioned, G-Idol is doing a lot more stuff this year, and CLC as well.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I feel like it's a good sign for all of those groups, for sure.
Yeah, especially before, I know G-Idol's coming back soon and they have that big world tour planned. So this is definitely a good look for them. All right, next one. YG bamboozles everyone again?
Called it.
So last week, it was reported that BlackPink were planning a massive new global project alongside their comeback, which is slated for the first half of 2020. Well, this week, YG Entertainment did make an announcement on February 20th, but let's just say it wasn't very dolled up. Okay.
What are your puns? You need to stop.
I mean, I've been hanging out with some of the people on the Discord too much, but
Nuna, you've ruined them.
the YG family Twitter account announced that a new collectible line of dolls personally inspired by the members will be released during the summer. And then I wrote here, big oof. So I am not completely sure if this is this massive global project that they were talking about, but if it is, this is pretty bad, right?
I don't think oof is like enough anymore.
Mega oof.
I don't know, man.
Oh, how about we go like bouncy oof?
Shut up! You wild man.
All right, so you could look up the pictures of these dolls online. I have it in our script. It's kind
Yeah.
of tragic, right?
It reminds me of
Bratz?
Bratz, yeah.
Now, I know a lot of people were not a fan of the BTS Mattel dolls.
No, you go
I
on.
believe it was Mattel. But those are like great dolls relative to these ones, I think.
Yeah. Look, I mean, clearly it's not supposed to be a 1-to-1 representation of the
Right.
BlackPink members. That being said, I can't tell who is who right now. Looking at
they're-
the Yeah,
I could tell which one's Jenny. That's about it, I think.
Okay, I can tell Jenny as well.
Jenny and
actually.
Lisa, I could tell them. But at the same time, it's like, okay, they did this other cringy thing in the trailer. They had like a shadow. They didn't really show these dolls that much. They like played with the dolls in the trailer. Like the hands came together, and I was like, "Oh God, you doing it? You doing it?"
It's like the Cartoon Network like advertisements from like 2005.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Look.
I really don't think this is that global massive project.
Oofed
I
up a
hope
goofed
not.
up. Come on, really?
There's no way this could be it, right? I'm expecting like a documentary, a concert tour,
Yeah, I
maybe
thought we're
pop-up
getting-
stores around the world,
I thought we're getting like Netflix documentaries.
or a clothing line, which we were sort of talking about a while ago.
Here.
This is so left field.
If this is something that is supposed to be complimentary of that global project,
Oh.
maybe.
Or if it's the start of a line of merch, then maybe I could.
Yeah,
I
like
could
if
eat
this is like the start of like a whole collectibles around Blackpink, maybe.
I mean, if
Hopefully
it,
has collectibles. but
obviously, it's just our opinion that we don't like these dolls. You might like these dolls and want to collect them, but I think the thing we're really talking about here is we're just let down because they said massive global, right?
Yeah.
That was like,
I just don't know why. Like,
yeah, I really don't
Interesting.
know either.
Just
But
release the albums. Why release this?
yeah, I'll trade in all 4 of these dolls for another comeback. Like, please. But
It's like the Exodia, you know, you gotta collect all the dolls for a comeback.
I mean, it could be worse. They could be like collect all 4 albums to get the album. I mean, collect all 4 dolls to get the album. That would be the worst case scenario. But now let's move on to quick takes. The first one's a bit sad. So, the number of coronavirus cases in Korea has shot up this week, remarkably, and is now. I don't think remarkably is the best word choice here. Tragically, and the total is now up to over 800 at the time of recording. I'm not really going to go into specifics, but a lot of that cluster is formed around Daegu and a specific churchgoer who infected many other peoples of their congregation. The church itself is controversial, but we're not going to go into that.
Yeah, let's not make any political statements here, but but I will say, my family is in Korea. My friends are in Korea. My friends are in Korea. I'm concerned.
Yeah,
my
me
best
too.
wishes.
Yeah, so because of this, many K-pop related events, including the BTS Map of the Soul 7 press conference, which already happened, and Twice's Seoul finale of their Twice Lights tour, that one got canceled. Now, they are making these adjustments, obviously, for the sake of precaution, but it does suck for fans, clearly.
Yeah.
The last thing I just want to say is that everyone, if you're in Korea or if you're in another country that's starting to see a rise in the coronavirus numbers, just be safe. Practice good hygiene.
Yeah.
This really sucks, but all right, next one. FNC plans to debut a new boy group in the spring.
Wow.
So the company has stated that the group will be the first dance group in 4 years since the debut of SF9. And the boy group will be joining the already packed lineup of FT Island, CM Blue, SF9, and N Flying as the other boy groups at FNC.
I'm not sure if that's a good idea, but
Interesting. Yeah.
This seems like too many, right?
I mean, okay, FT Islands is not that active anymore.
They're in like the military right now.
Right.
CM Blue's kind of in the same situation.
Right. So technically, yeah, you know, this might be their third boy group in the rotation, but like even then, 3 is a lot.
3 is a lot.
3 is a lot, guys. Come on.
And I think in girl groups they just have AOA as 4, or was it 5? It was
Cherry
5?
Bullet?
Oh, Cherry Bullet too.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yes.
I'm going crazy here. So that means they have on paper 5 actively. They all have 5 actively promoting groups with 2 kind of going through the military situation.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like more than like JYP. That's a lot.
That's a lot of
That's
groups.
a lot.
And I feel bad for N Flying fans, and shout out to Hot Potato and SF9 fans, because like it's already like you have 2 groups that are basically around the same level, right? And they're competing
Right.
against each other. And then you get another group added to the mix. It's just less attention, less money, right?
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure about this. Let's
All
move
right.
on for now.
So IZ*ONE's Bloom is, by selling 356,000 copies, is now officially the best-selling girl group album for their first week album sales of all time on Hanteo. The previous record was held by Twice's Feel Special, which sold 154,000. So they sold
Wow.
200,000 more than that one.
Whoa.
My goodness.
Fiesta also became the first girl group song to rank number 1 on Melon's real-time chart in 2020.
Wow.
I guess us Wiz ones were very angry about the hiatus and bought a ton of albums.
Clearly.
You know, right before we started recording, my Luna albums and IZ*ONE's albums, they came in the mail, and I didn't have time to open them, so they're sitting on the kitchen table, and they will be
dear.
opened right after the podcast this week. And Warren has an opening this week on the podcast too. I think.
Yeah, we'll wait for that as well.
But next one. SM Entertainment announced that there will be no change in members in the EXO lineup after listening to the opinions of the members. So this is clearly in reference to Chen's marriage and child that he and his fiance will be having in the future.
That's good news to me personally.
Yes.
I completely agree with that as well. I don't think he should be punished for having a life.
Nope.
This one is extremely strange and sad. So on February 19th, it was reported that an individual attempted to use super glue on Ace's car in an attempt to damage the vehicle and hurt the artist after learning the artist's schedule and route in advance. their label Beat Entertainment stated that they will be seeking full legal action on the individual once they are caught.
Wait, what?
First question is why?
Yeah.
This much effort?
I don't know, like, exactly what they were trying to do, but the thing I kept on seeing was Superglue Terror was the translation for most of these articles.
Why? What did they do to you?
I don't know.
Man.
Like, the two things scenarios I was seeing is maybe they wanted to super glue and get them in an accident just to hurt them. That's a pure anti, right?
But why?
The other option would be they wanted to, like, stall their car so they can, like, go meet them, which would be a crazy Saseng fan, right? Those are the two scenarios here. I don't know which one it is, though. Regardless, though, what the hell are you doing, fam?
What are you?
But I just don't understand. Because I feel like there have been various cases, right, of like supposedly fans who want to get attention of some sort by causing some sort of, I don't know, accident, like an issue for the artist for some reason. Like there's been a lot of attempts like food poisoning, like random, very, very weird gifts. Like it's been a lot. I feel like this is one of the more recent ones that I've heard of. And I don't know. I just feel like why do this if you actually are a fan of this group?
They're going way too far.
It's 2020. It's a new era.
Grow up.
Yes.
Please be real people.
Okay. I thought you were going to say one more line. But lastly, JYP Entertainment announced today on the 24th that they have partnered with top U.S. record label Republic Records for Twice's overseas promotions. We don't have the full details, but just know that Republic Records is home to artists including Ariana Grande, Drake, Jonas Brothers, Post Malone, and Taylor Swift.
Wow.
It's a big name. You know, it's part of Universal Music.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They are essentially the biggest music players in America.
And the thing is, in Republic Records, like, well, I think it was in, I'm not sure whose statement it was, but it was like a joint statement essentially as to what's going on. It might have been from JYP. I'm not exactly sure. Not from him specifically, but people at the company, right? They were talking about like the other groups too. Like this is the first step of a relationship here. That would be cool. Because
you know what's interesting? I went into their artist list on Wikipedia, and TXT is here.
TXT is there too. Weird.
Interesting.
You know, at a minimum, maybe it means better distribution for fans across the world to get albums and merch, which would be cool. At a higher level, maybe they'll be doing some kind of tours and helping them out with other things. Maybe at the highest end of the spectrum, a U.S. International release, right? That would be the highest level.
Ooh.
Imagine
Overall,
seeing
though,
Twice on like the Ellen Show or something. You know, like
that would be
That
nuts.
could happen.
Considering they better hire the Parasite translator for that, because like I went to Twice Lights. The English game is not the strongest suit of Twice, but they are definitely working on it.
Hey,
so.
you know what? Mina's back.
That is true. She
speaks
is the best
English.
speaker. Yeah. But that has been all the news this week. Some good, some bad, some oofs. But Warren, hit us with the comebacks and releases.
February 26th on Wednesday, Eris. February 28th on Friday, BTS on music video drop. February 29th on Saturday, Chungha via the MNH's new Wave project. Other confirmed comeback news includes 2? Is that how we read there?
I think that's how we're saying it.
2 on March 18th.
So they're the debut group from the show World Class. So that's who they are.
EXO's. Oh man, kind of. EXO's Suho making his solo debut in March. Alexa from Produce 48 making her comeback on early March.
All right, thank you, Warren.
That was
your
it.
Sexy voice.
Thank you.
All right, so
You're
now
welcome.
we are at State of the Nation. So the first thing I want to let y'all know is that KCON New York will be selling early bird tickets. So if you're in the area or going to KCON New York this year. So they are on sale on March 2nd to April 19th. And what it is, it's 15% off, around 50% off the convention tickets and KCON Rookies, which is that rookie show they have on the Friday before the actual convention start. They will also give you 2-hour early access to get artist engagement packages once that goes on sale, and those are limited. And then finally, KCON New York will be taking place on June 12th to June 14th.
Real excitement. KCON. If Rocket Punch doesn't show up, I'm going to be angry at all of you.
So Warren, do you want to just start talking about Toy Fair while you unbox your Rocket Punch, Red Punch
Yeah,
album?
for the sake of time, let's start doing all of that together. So
I'm surprised you didn't pre-cut it open. To be honest,
it's just raw itself. This
All right.
is difficult. It's just sat in my bedroom.
So you could start cutting it open. I'll start talking about Toy Fair. You might want to mute yourself a little.
So no. So I got the Rocket Punch album. Let's just get into that real quick before we talk about Toy Fair. Because I'll make it real quick. I got the Rocket Punch album, bouncy, Red Punch, good stuff. I didn't like the song, but that was okay. First week sales were 7,500.
Oof.
That's up from 5,000 last time. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
At least
Positive.
it didn't go down.
50% higher.
Shut up.
Oh, okay. You want me to talk about Toy Fair, or you?
Yeah, let's talk about Toy Fair. Yeah.
Okay, so you could just start doing your thing up. So, a member of the SojuTalk Nation, Tenyoka, she contacted us, and she works for Toy Fair, and I'm pretty sure she works for the planning behind the scenes work of this fair. So Toy Fair is one of the largest toy shows in the country. I don't know. I'm assuming the world too, right?
I think
So
it's
she
the
and-
world's biggest. Yeah.
It might be the world's biggest, but Warren and I got invited to go. It was in Manhattan at the Jacob Javits Center where KCON New York is going to be taking place. This was so big. Like,
Wow.
Bro.
let's just say, in terms of where KCON, the convention spot was, right?
Right.
This was at least 4 to 8 times bigger than KCON.
Whoa.
Like, KCON reserved like a couple sections of this, but the main convention was in one spot. The main spot of Toy Fair was everywhere. And
Dang.
I had never seen so many toys in my life, obviously. Like, it was shocking. The one thing I want to say was, the thing I kept telling Warren was, number one, like, I was looking for free swag. Because, like,
When you're free swag, I swear.
I mean, bro, when we go to conventions or stuff, I want free stuff. That's
Here's
like,
the thing. I did get a lot of free stuff though. I got this Naruto chopsticks.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Whoa.
I got some slime.
Wow.
I've never played with slime before. That was pretty fun.
we got some extra lanyards, which was cool. To tie it into K-pop, the only thing they had was I do not 100% know how to pronounce it, but it's like the BTS 21 dolls. They had some products from that line, so that was pretty cool. But not much K-pop representation. But who cares? We had a great time, Warren and I. We were there for like, I want to say like 5 hours ish, and we walked we walked like 4 miles. I'm guessing while we were there. It was so big.
Yeah, because we got there around 11 and left around 4. So yeah.
Yeah, like we were there like 5
Wow.
hours. The one thing I want to say though is it was an industry only event, right? So they're basically there to make connections and distribution. Like, big buyers come up and be like, I want to buy 100 of your thing, right? And like, so every booth had like either conference tables or a back room or a sofa, and they were talking to each other. But as Warren and I, we were there for guests. The thing I kept on saying to myself is like, damn, I wish I could buy all this stuff. Because this isn't open to the public, they're not really selling anything.
Just showcasing.
Yeah, like there's not people with like credit card scanners or like change. They're here to make the big deal purchases. But like, I was in my convention mindset being like, man, I want to buy that action figure right there. So that was the one thing. But I understood that after like 30 minutes. I was like, Warren, you think I could buy that? And he's like, hell no. But
Never have I felt so out of place and like so like I don't belong here. But at the same time, it was like
it was so cool.
Impressive.
It was so wild. I was
We
like,
saw so
man.
many toys, and I was like, when we passed stuff that was cool, I was saving it to my phone, being like, I'm gonna look this up and buy some of this later. That's what I was thinking.
What
I
was
met
the
a-
coolest thing you saw, Doug?
The coolest thing I saw. Let me think about that real
Your
quick.
favorite thing.
There was 2 things. The best thing that happened was I've met a very famous professional wrestler while we were there.
What?
Yeah, so there's a wrestling company, not WWE. It's called AEW. It's like the second biggest company in the United States right now, right? There's a wrestler right now, so you know how wrestling's broken up into good guys and bad guys, heels and faces. There was one of the biggest heels or bad guys at that company, MJF. He was at this convention because AEW was debuting action figures for the first time, right? So wrestling action figures is a big thing. And we were walking randomly, and then we passed a guy in a Burberry looking scarf, right?
Oh.
And that's like so the guy's name is MJF, and that is one of his main things he wears in his attire, right?
Ooh.
And we passed it. I looked. I was like, "Oh, that's MJF!" And then I fanboyed a little bit, and then he was having like a business conversation with some suits. So we stood like far away, and then once he was finished doing his thing, I approached him. I'm like, MJF, can I get a photo? I'm a big fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guy was in full gimmick here, meaning that he was playing the bad guy role.
Oh my goodness.
And he was like, fine. And then he scowled at the camera when Warren took the picture, and he made some other sound effects and then like stomped off, right?
Wow.
And I was like, Warren, it took me a while. I was like, was he actually pissed? And then Warren was like, no, he's playing an act, you idiot.
I had never seen wrestling, and it was like obviously a show, and I was like, come on.
Yeah, so we saw him, and then I think I saw. Okay, so Anita, Gym Class Heroes, right?
Mm.
Who is the lead singer of Gym Class Heroes? We're doing that thing.
Oh shoot. I can see
Yeah.
his face. I can't remember his name.
The lead singer of Travis McCoy. Travis McCoy.
Yes. You saw it?
I think there's like a 30% chance we saw him.
Wow.
Because there was a guy in such like cool clothing and had such a look that I was like, I'm pretty sure it's him.
Dang.
No. I'm not 100% sure it was him, but it might have been. So we might have seen another celebrity. But Warren, are you ready to unbox the album?
I should be saying what I liked about the fair first before we move on to go back to
Oh
the
yeah,
album.
that's true.
So I'm gonna try to calm down real quick because the album is right in front of me. All I gotta do is open it. You didn't mention any of the toys we saw. Jesus.
Oh yeah, sorry.
There were a lot of cool figures. Not only because like not only because like I grew up watching Japanese cartoons and whatnot, but there were a lot of like cool concept art and concept figures that I've like never like seen before. Like there were like I would like walked up to people and I was like, yo, can I take pictures? And they were like, yeah, like
Oh my god, it was him.
oh my god, you and your celebrity.
It was him. I'm looking at his.
goodness.
I didn't get a photo with Travis.
Dang.
It was him. I told you, Warren. Because I'm looking at his Instagram. There's pictures of him with toys and stuff.
Oh,
Look,
yeah. it was
we're
him.
SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop, not your weekly shot of American music.
All right, keep
over
going
here.
about the toys, Warren.
No, but that was really cool. You know, it's like it was like seeing a whole nother side of the world that I've never seen before. And like even though I'm not directly related to the toy industry, it's like I could like find my points of relevance like in every little bit, like Lego, Pokemon, and whatnot. So, I was looking through the footage because I filmed a lot of it.
Ooh.
This footage, dude.
I still do want to put out the vlog.
Oh god,
I want to see it.
It's
rough.
It's you know I was hoping for a 10-minute video. Might be like 5 minutes because we multiple times we were just like, whoa, no, wow, what is that?
Here's the
no.
thing. Like
But,
we've never done an official SojuTalk vlog. It's gonna be very apparent because we don't know what to do.
It was clearly like a good like first round, I will say.
Let's just say like we got on like an escalator with people, and Warren starts like narrating what we're doing, and I'm like cringing real hard. I'm trying to hide out of frame.
We gotta do it.
Warren's like, we're here at Toy Fair. We are going down the escalator, looking at the basement floor now to look at the toys. And I'm like, oh my god,
said
stop.
that.
Well, all right, but it was Travis McCoy though. Wow.
How about your Travis McCoy? I'm the album now.
Oh yeah. But yeah, once again, shout out to Tenyoka. If you could ever get like access to this event, it was like so cool. One of the coolest things I've ever done.
Here's the thing with the Rocket Punch albums.
Oh.
They come in this plastic bag. It's like a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
While you were talking, I had to cut the top part off.
Uh-huh.
You kind of have to. That's the part of the experience. And it won't open because my nails are too short.
Do you want? Oh,
It opened.
So the main thing here is we're gonna see what photo cards you get, right?
I mean,
Which
dude,
one
I love
first?
all the members equally, except Tree. But
How many came with the last album? Was it one?
just one.
And you did get Yuri.
Yes.
Okay, let's see if you get double the luck here.
Why am I so nervous?
You're so out of breath.
Come out.
This dude is so nervous on the camera right now.
It's here. It's here. Oh man, all right.
All right, let's do this, fam. You got this. Show them what you got, bro.
Let's be happy. 연희가 좋아하는 말이에요. 행복해지자. Ah!
You got Yunny?
I got Yunny. Oh my god, this is a nice picture of the girl.
Show it to the camera, sir. Wait, you lagging. It's kind of grainy, but I mean, she's good looking regardless of the amount of pixels on the screen. Okay.
You good?
I mean, we sort of okay.
All right.
But-
Here's the other stuff I got. I got another bunch of stickers again, just like I did with last time.
Stickers.
I got another nice bookmark.
Okay, bookmark.
Ooh.
This will be. I had a whole collection. Never mind.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna skip you because he's gonna look at this album now for the next like 20 minutes. But Anita, what have you been doing in the world of K-pop?
So I recently went through the full-length album or second album that 세소년 released.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's their second full-length. I might be wrong, but I went through it, and this is the album that has Go Back, which was a song that I really, really enjoyed, the single. So I kind of went into the album because I saw the teaser, like the medley teaser for it. And I feel like Go Back is still my favorite track of the whole thing. But I was really interested to see that they also included some songs that, or at least like bits of songs that were played in some of their live performances. So one of them was called E, which was used as like an intro for their set, which that was really interesting. And then another song that I found in the album was called Winter. And yeah, so this song is really, really nice. So I think it's probably my second favorite of the album. So I really enjoyed it. It's like very, very mellow, and I guess you can guess by the title, very like kind of wintry vibes. I don't know, it's really, really nice. I really enjoyed it. It has more of a acoustic vibe than a more rock, like typical rock sound that they have. But I would definitely check it out if you're into more alt rock, more indie stuff. And then secondly, I've been listening a lot to The Boys. So they had a recent comeback. Yep. But what I've kind of been listening to was not their title track reveal, but their B-side, which they're promoting on music shows as well, called Salty. So this song is really interesting because a lot of the sounds and like melodies they use in the song itself are so unexpected. I would say like it seems like it's gonna go one way, but then it takes a different turn. So it's very interesting, especially the chorus. I would say that as far as like a sound, it has that more like, what is it, like runway vibes, like kind of deep house kind of feel to it. And a track that I felt like it reminded me a little bit of was Super M's Too Fast. So if you're familiar with that track. Yeah. It's kind of like that. And then finally, another song that I've been replaying a lot. It's not a new song. I've listened to this song a lot before, but it recently came up again because of NCT's comeback, and I'll explain. So the song is EXO's Tender Love, and this was released back in 2015, late 2015, I believe, when they were promoting Love Me Right. And the reason why I've been listening to this a lot is because NCT has released like a lot of comeback teaser videos and footage.
A lot of them,
yes.
A lot of them.
Within the last week or so. And I was really, really, really hoping that they were going to include a song that has the background instrumental for their comeback timeline that they had. And it's not. So I'm really disappointed. But but the melody of the song, because I've been listening to that a lot, reminds me of like a very retro version of Tender Love. So I feel like if anything, it would have sounded like Tender Love, I think. And I still have hope that it might be included somewhere in the comeback because they've revealed what 11 of the 13 songs sound like. So there's still 2. So one of them being the title track, and then another one. But I don't know what that's gonna sound like. But I'm hoping they include it somehow because it sounds really cool. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. Are the boys rising up your like personal internal tier list right now?
Yeah, I feel like I was really, really into them when they first debut. I like a lot of their songs, but I feel like I didn't quite keep up with them lately. I think their sound right now is really, really nice, and I really like it. So I've been checking more of their B-sides currently, I think.
Okay, that's fair. I think we completely lost Warren, so we're gonna.
He's gone.
Oh wait, your camera's good right now. Show the Yunny card again, cause you were so pixelated before. But
sorry, I was reading the thank you notes.
oh, there we wait. Closer. Okay. Ooh, her eyes are gigantic in the photo card. But
that was
I think that wraps up everything, guys. So this has been.
Don't we want to say something about our trailer?
Oh yes, I forgot about this. So,
How dare you forget?
I'm sorry. It's a very long episode this week.
Yeah, I remembered even after unboxing the Rocket Punch album.
All right, so one of the things that happened this week is that we added moderators to our SojuTalk Discord, which is a big deal for us. We have the SojuTalk Map of the Soul 7, I think is what we're calling them.
Because there's 7 of them.
Because there's 7 of them. Should we shout them out? Do you want to shout them out? The name specifically?
I mean, we'll shout them out at the end of the episode.
That works too, but
after the Patreon credits.
So yeah, I know the 3 of us are on the podcast and we're on the Discord, but I've been doing a lot of the moderation myself, and it got a little overwhelming at times. But now we have some help, so that's a good thing.
It's honestly like, even that part that was kind of emotional because I was like, walking into work today, and I was like thinking like, wow, we have like a whole server like that came together from this podcast, and it's become so big that it's not just like me, Doug, and Nita, and a couple of kids. It's like we have like hundreds of people. We have like mods, and it's because sometimes it's and I forget, but sometimes I forget how like thankful I am that you guys like tune in and like listen or watch us like talk for like an hour or 2 hours, I don't know, but yeah, I think if whether this is your first episode here or whether this is your last episode here, hopefully not, but whether you
and regardless of if you're on the Discord or not on the Discord, we completely
regardless of where you are out there, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Well, that was nice way to end this, sir. But
this has we don't do that enough. We need to thank these people. Agreed.
For sure. But this has been SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop, our super special episode 75. This episode gave me more like nervousness than any episode we've ever done. It felt like we were recording episode 50 again, which was our last one, because 75 is a nice big like significant number. BTS came back. We also got the 7 giveaway, which you should write a comment down if you haven't already to enter.
Unboxed.
We got an unboxing. We got privileged enough to go to a toy fair, which was tremendous. And
thank you again.
We're privileged enough to also have the SojuTalk Nation behind us, which is the best thing. But we'll see y'all next time when we announce the winner for Map of the Soul 7, and we also review some more songs, and we get to see the BTS on music video. So we'll see y'all then.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Special shoutouts to our Fiesta patrons: Cypher, Gogu Mama, Jacob, Hana Kima, Malfiar, NJ Parks, Pure K-pop Sound, and Wolf297. Thank you for joining SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. And special thanks to our Discord server mods: Jacob, K-Music Erday, Malfiar, No Bias Nuna, Tuggles, V, and Wolf297.